out today to participate in this press conference so that we can make some information known to our school community, to the community of Montgomery, and to our board members, and all of those who are our supporters. As you know, we've had to deal with the COVID vaccine and the COVID-19 issues for several months. And so we're trying, as a school system that is relatively large considering the size of school systems in Alabama, trying to deal with all of those issues as they pop up. We normally are looking at about 28,000 students, somewhere a workforce of about 4,500 people, give or take a few. And that is not like operating a very small school system where you have maybe 500 people. And so it's like a small city, a small community, and we have to adjust as time goes by. We want to express our deepest condolences to all of the families that have lost loved ones, and to our school families that have lost colleagues. We want to also thank our school board for coming here today and being with us, and also to thank the press and all of you who are in attendance so that you can hear the announcement that I had to make. Starting February 1, 2021, all MPS students will resume a virtual learning schedule. MPS employees during that time will work remotely. They will receive information about their work schedules from their direct supervisor. So if you're a teacher, you'll hear from your principal. If you're in the central office, especially those who are 11 and 12-month employees, you will hear from your direct supervisor. I think it's important to say that we will more than likely remain virtual until we are able to receive the COVID-19 vaccine as a school system. We understand that we cannot force anyone to take the vaccine, but the option of being able to choose the vaccine should be made available as soon as possible to our workforce. Again, as I mentioned before, we have about 4,500 people. Bus drivers, cafeteria workers, teachers, principals, support staff. So we have a lot of people who are in contact with students every day who will need to receive that vaccine. At this time, however, we have not received an absolute date for when the vaccinations will be offered to our employees, but we are being told that it will be sometime between February or early March as a likely time frame, but that is not a definite date as of now. As soon as we get a definite date, we will make sure that our employees receive that information so that they can make their appointments. If they are to make their own appointments, it means then that we might have to do something else with our scheduling, because with a large workforce, individuals making their own appointments, it could take a good deal of time to make this happen. So we're going to try to see if we can have a specific location for our employees. That is not known now, it's not a given, but that would probably be the best thing for us with an organization the size of the one that we have. I'm in constant contact not only with our school nurse, but with the Alabama State Department and the health department at our local area so that we can get as much information as possible, which we will definitely share with our employees in an effort to be as transparent as we can possibly be. We'll keep everyone updated throughout this process, so you will hear as much as I know. You will know it as much as I can give it out. I will give it out, not only to our board members, but also to our employees and others who are part of our school community and part of the MPS community. We want to thank all of you for your continuous support as we go through this time. This is not something that is peculiar to Montgomery Public Schools. It's happening not only in Montgomery, it's happening all across the state, and it's happening across the nation, and it's also international. So it's one of those moving targets that you just have to try to deal with as time goes by and as you get more information. And understanding that every school system is unique. At this time, I have with us not only all of our board members who are here, but our president, Ms. Claire Wills, who will probably make some comments
understand our hearts and thoughts are with those who have gone on. This is a very difficult time. We're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it together. We stand firmly behind Dr. Moore and her decisions. We are committed to keeping our schools safe and healthy and giving the best education we can to our children. So we look forward to talking to you again when there's more information. Thank you.
Any questions? We'll take a few questions at this time.
Dr. Moore, is there a number you can confirm of any employees that passed away from COVID or COVID-related deaths?
The closest number that I can get to it at this time is that we have about 40 had COVID-related issues that passed away. We've had other deaths that were not COVID-related, but when you talk about death in our community, that impact is very strong.
Can you also talk about as a board, and what you guys are saying to your employees who have had some issues, like we've had in the past, the teacher-led protests, and just the morale of the teachers right now, and what you guys are saying as far as like comforting them or anything like that?
Of course, we're very sympathetic. I know that the fear factor is out there. I hear from teachers who are just fearful. They want to come to work. They do come to work. They have children, but they're very nervous because the COVID-19 vaccination is not available. And this virus is very invasive and it's very unpredictable. So you really never know whether you're going to be impacted by this or not. So there are a lot of nervous people around there. But I have had schools that I won't name who said we want to stay open. We want to be in school. We want our kids to come to school. Our teachers want to come to school. And so we have from one end of the spectrum to another as far as coming to school is concerned. But to look at health, safety, and welfare, this virtual learning process for the next few weeks will be the way we're going to go for everyone.
Hi, with more students going to virtual, I know y'all have had efforts throughout to give people access to the internet, to give people access to devices. Can you talk about if any of those will have to ramp up to ensure that kids have the access they need? And related, what's your current guess of attendance for people attending virtual school?
Okay, so let me try to answer the first part of the question, which has to do with the Wi-Fi devices and that kind of thing and the internet. So we received an additional 5,000 devices from the original count, and now I think we've received another 1,000 devices, which will be distributed if they have not already. We also have some Wi-Fi devices for people who may be in more rural areas where we can give them that gadget to use on their device in addition to just giving them the device. We're also knowing and understanding that some of our teachers also need devices and they may need Wi-Fi. So at the individual schools, we're going to ask all of the principals, say in this case, to work with their staff, figure out what it is they need, and then let us know, and we will try to assist them in getting the things that they need. Now, the second part of your question was something about student.
I just wondered if you have a current count of attendance for people currently attending virtual school.
Okay, so we have about 7,000 students who have indicated that they are wanting to be in school. That's the face-to-face. And so on a daily basis, we take that count, which means that's about a third of our student population. So the others are in university learning. The ones who are face-to-face and virtual in this case, the ones who are virtual, only have to log in about once or twice a week and they're counted as present. So we have to make sure that the ones who are not logging in, who are not participating, that we somehow get to them and get that information to them that if you are virtual, you are still expected to participate and to do your work. Now, we also understand, without belaboring this point, that there's going to be some learning loss just based on the fact that all of this is new and different for parents, for students, and for teachers. And so we are going to ramp up. Once our teachers get their vaccines and they feel comfortable coming back to work, we're going to ramp up what we can do to counteract the learning loss that has taken place. And that may be extended days, it may be Saturday school, it may be extended summer programs. So those things are in the works also. Anyone else? That's it. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it, and we hope that you will help us get the word out, and we will be contacting our people as well. Thank you.
I wanted to say something if I could real quick, and I know it's probably not, but one, I think that what has been upsetting to me, and I think a lot of the board and the central office, is that our teachers throughout the state of Alabama were not a priority when the vaccines came out. And so to me, in my opinion, it should have been that all of the teachers should have been on first tier. And so now that we're having this influx of COVID infection and COVID deaths, we are now still 2 weeks before they are even in the tier. And just like Dr. Moore said, just the ability to vaccinate all the teachers, not just within our system. Also, I'm going to switch hats as the director of Child Protect. As children go back into virtual learning, I just pray and really encourage anyone that has a child in their family, whether it's a neighbor or a niece or a nephew, please check on them. We have seen our numbers at Child Protect up 40% from this time last year, and the number of child abuse cases, particularly severe physical abuse and domestic violence. And that has a lot to do with the stress now that families are under, with parents having to stay home, with parents having a lot that have lost their jobs, and now they're having the stress of the children at virtual. So I just want to put that out there as a reminder. We all have to be responsible for these kids, and we've got to be the eyes and ears for their safety and for their well-being, and especially their learning at this time. So sorry I had to go off the protocol.
Thank you.
All right, Gumtown, there you have it. Press conference from Montgomery Public Schools. Starting February 1st, all Montgomery Public Schools will be completely virtual. Everything will go back virtual, and teachers will be teaching remotely from their homes. Teachers should get information from their principals on what to do. This is what's happening. Thank you for tuning in. Gumtown TV, we be everywhere.